and welcome to this live stream. So I wanted to talk about a bunch of different things, and I thought instead of doing a video edit in the video and everything like that, I'd just come on here live with you and just be straight with you, because I have no clue anymore whether videos are going to be took down or what's going to happen. There is so much going on right now that it is kind of insane. So one thing I want to talk about is there was an attack on the protest, which was supporting the Freedom Convoy in Ottawa on the weekend. And it was being reported as a hit and run. You know, it is just disgusting that that was blatantly an attack on people. And yet the way the mainstream media is reporting it, and they're really not reporting it, apart from local news, didn't make national news, you didn't hear anything about it. And why is that? It's because they want you to believe that all the protests that are going on right now in Ottawa are essentially anti-government. It's to overthrow the government, or these people are against being medicated. The thing is, guys, that's not the case. And one guy I want to give a shout out to is Viva Frey. I've been watching a lot of his channel, and he does live streams in Ottawa all the time. And if you can't be there, you can go and watch his live streams and you can see for yourself what's going on there. So if you have anybody who's saying, yeah, this and that's happening and it's negative down there, they need to go and watch that live stream, because it's going to show you what's really going on there. And it's the reality that people don't want to accept. You know, there is a smear campaign going on with this Freedom Convoy, and it's sad to see it going on within Canada, but you know what? It's kind of accepted almost by a lot of people that this would happen. But essentially, they're trying to make it look like all these convoys are just anti-medicine, when a lot of the people there are medicated, and that's not what it is. Their demands are not unreasonable. And yes, it's going to inconvenience some people. We have a huge convoy that is down at the Coutts border. And, you know, we went to, it was a bit of a fail, as you probably saw in the live stream. We went to follow them down at the weekend, and we kind of missed the truck convoy. We were in part of the convoy, but we missed the big part of it. But this weekend, I'll be going to a march here in Calgary. I've been to them before. The people there, there's just a sense of unity, a sense of community between one another. You know, there's all races, backgrounds that are there, and the way these things are branded is just unbelievable. And again, like, what is happening right now with the mainstream media in Canada is really, I believe, actually a good thing long term. Because I think public confidence now in the mainstream media in Canada is going to go way down. And I think the chances of like places like CBC being defunded, which they should be, because these are taxpayer organizations that put videos out on places like YouTube, and they decide which videos you can comment on and which videos you can't, because on videos they don't want you to have an opinion on. They don't want you to see that the majority of people agree with what's going on. They don't want to show that, of course. So they disable the comments. And it's not a democracy, it's a dictatorship. And you know, Justin Trudeau had his emergency meeting in Parliament. And I saw the emergency meeting, and I watched his speech. And once again, like, the convoy is willing to sit at a table with Justin Trudeau, but Justin Trudeau is not willing to sit down with the convoy, and yet it just blows my mind. Another thing I want to talk about is GoFundMe and what happened with GoFundMe. Oh my God. I mean, never did I think that would happen, but obviously GoFundMe took it upon themselves to dictate what they're going to do with the money. And I think a lot of that was probably them being misled down the garden path by the city of Ottawa and the government of Canada, which in the eyes of a corporation, when you have to think in their shoes. when you have like City of Ottawa, Government of Canada coming at you saying this is going on, there's violence, blah 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 blah, they're not there. They can't see. So, I mean, they can watch the live streams on YouTube and stuff, but they kind of have to take their word for it. And obviously, incredibly misled down the garden path there. There's been no violence at all. And you're just seeing the most amazing thing happen, I never thought this would happen in Canada, but I suppose it makes sense because the mandates have been so strict in Canada that it was bound to happen here first, and now it's spread globally across the world. I just think it's amazing. The sense of unity, the sense of community, the sense of coming together, no matter what, just to bring back our freedom. Everybody just wants their life back. They want a sense of normality back. If you believe what the media is telling you about suicide rates, that they are at record low, you're on a different planet. They don't even categorize overdoses as suicides. And that's probably the most common way that somebody is going to commit suicide is through an overdose. And the thing is, it's happening to younger people. Younger people are totally fed up. They feel like they have no future here in Canada because what's happened here in Canada is essentially everything has become financialized. You look at every city in the country, people can't afford homes. Like, look at the Toronto housing market and condo market. Just utterly ridiculous. And we will pay the price for that. People think the prices are just going to go up forever. That's just going to happen. They're on cloud nine. We will pay the price for that economically, and we're already seeing the cracks in the economy. Did you hear Canada lost 200,000 jobs in January? Did you hear that? No, because again, it wasn't widely reported. They only report when the numbers are good. It's just like the real estate agents and the real estate boards go, oh yeah, look at this statistics, but don't look at this one because that's slightly negative. You know, everybody is just using whatever they can to gain a little step over somebody, basically. And it's just insane to me that people believe that this is going to go on forever. I mean, the economy has definitely changed. I was speaking to somebody at the food bank yesterday, and they said that the demand at the food bank is absolutely insane, and they're calling out for volunteers. They can't get enough volunteers here in Calgary. And the thing is, guys, this is just it. The economy is collapsing. Like, it is collapsing right before our eyes, whether people realize it or they don't. It doesn't really matter. It's collapsing. You know, Canada has one of the highest unemployment rates in the G7. You know, people aren't going to want to come here anymore. They're not going to want to come to Canada. When I came to Canada, it was a different Canada to the Canada we're in today. It has deteriorated so much under Justin Trudeau's government. When we looked and visited and came here 2013, 2014, it was a totally different place. When we arrived in 2016, there was the hysteria again around the housing market. It was blowing up and everything like that. But now that bubble has been blown so big, it will collapse the entire economy. Jobs will be lost by many, many people. The amount of debt in the private sector held by businesses has absolutely exploded. And it's not going to end well, guys. People are going to lose jobs. They're going to lose their homes. They are going to end up on the street. There's going to be more homeless. There's going to be people committing suicide. There's going to be a lot more deaths. And the life expectancy is already taking a hit, and they're blaming this on the cerveza sickness. We know that's not true. There's a lot more going on that meets the eye. Mentally, people are exhausted. They've been affected by this beyond belief, especially children. Children are being the ones that are most affected, and we're going to see this down the road. Their development has been totally affected. I was just saying to Jess the other night, I was saying, like, imagine going to school through this. You know, high school is an important part of social development. So is elementary school and everything like that. And to have that took away from you by this is absolutely terrible. You need to learn those social skills. They are fundamental. We've already got a massive problem with people in my generation who can't get off their phone. They don't have time away from their phone. They're constantly flicking through TikTok or whatever it is, and they don't get outside and enjoy the world. And it's a real problem. And it's just going to get worse. And a lot of people that I'm friends with are older than me because of precisely that. I just find it very difficult to be friends with somebody in my age group because most people are just totally on a different planet, and it frustrates me a lot. And when you think about that going into the future, and you think about this generation that's being brought through this era of the cerveza sickness, what's going to happen, guys? It's going to be a total train wreck. Things are just getting worse. There is just becoming more division when there should be people coming together. You know, it doesn't matter whether you're for the medicine, against the medicine. That is not what this is about. This is about people need to come together and realize that together we are bigger and we are stronger than the government. The government works for us. We don't work for them. But that's what it's turned into here in Canada. They've become this authoritarian state. Look up authoritarianism and see the definition. Look up these words and actually look at the definition. Because when I say that to my parents and other people, they say, "Oh, Luke, you're just going down a rabbit hole," and they don't want to accept it. But they're watching the mainstream media and they're eating up this soup of just lies all the time. And, you know, it frustrates me a lot. But anyway, we're getting a bit off topic here. And I can't see the chat, so I apologize. And my phone, it may have already overheated. I have no idea, because when I do these live streams, it absolutely sends the temperature of my phone through the roof, and then it generally just goes. But anyway, GoFundMe and all that stuff. There's now a website called Give, Send, Go, and I'll put it in the description of this live stream after I've done it. That GoFundMe is now going to issue refunds to everybody who donated to the Freedom Convoy. This Give, Send, Go, they've already raised like over 6 million US. Yesterday it was 5 million. So once again, the amount of money just shows you. Remember, this is hard times economically, not just for Canadians, for Americans, for people in the UK, Europe, Australia, New Zealand. This is hard times. Inflation is rampant. Inflation has destroyed the economy, guys. And we're heading into a recession right now because of inflation. And make no mistake, inflation is a big, big issue. But people are willing to donate to this cause because they believe, they know that it's the right thing to do. They know that the number one thing that Canadians need to hold on to, not just Canadians, people around the world need to hold on to, is their freedom and their liberty. Those two things, they are the fundamental things that we need to hold on to here. And if we don't have those, what do we have? Where are we going? This slippery slope that we're heading down, where does it end? You know, people just don't realize, you know, the thing is, as the cerveza sickness has progressed, and obviously it's got less and less harsh and whatever, you haven't seen governments ramping up hospital capacity in Canada to deal with this, have you? No, of course you haven't. But yet they always point to the hospitals when it comes to the reason why these restrictions are coming down. And today we have an announcement coming out from the Premier of Alberta, Jason Kenney, and I don't know what it's going to say, but it's about ending the restrictions. But I know here in Calgary, the mayor is not going to want to do that. They're going to try and hold on to those restrictions as much as they can. The city of Calgary is very liberal. You know, on the face of it, a lot of people think it's more of a conservative place. Alberta, yes, but not Calgary and Edmonton. They are very liberal. Edmonton, even more liberal. And they're going to try and hold on to these restrictions as long as possible. And, you know, whatever. But it's just absolutely insane. Another thing is, guys, Rumble moved their headquarters, and they moved their headquarters. This is not a new thing, but they moved their headquarters to Florida. But when I listened to the CEO's decision on why he did that, and there's videos on Rumble about it, he was basically saying that it's because of the censorship bill that was trying to be passed in Canada. And he basically said, you know what, even though it got killed, it's going to come back. And I totally believe him. If this government is allowed to carry on, then what is going to happen to free speech in Canada? Like now I'm speaking to you, this is free speech, but it will become non-existent. The slippery slope we are on, I cannot tell you. My friends that I know of who lived under communism say that the similarities between what's going on now in Canada and communism is unbelievable. It's undisputable. But a lot of people are just like, nah, you know what, Canada, it's not like that. You're just stupid. You're a conspiracy theorist. You don't. No, this is real. This is happening. Go and look at the history. That's what I do. I go and look at the history and I think, wow, it is. You know, a lot of people don't even realize it might. I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole. I could go down there. But the cost of living is absolutely skyrocketing. People can't afford it. Businesses are going to be going bankrupt. There's going to be tons of businesses going bankrupt. Where no amount of quantitative easing, no amount of reducing interest rates is going to bring these businesses back. Just realize that. Businesses are going bankrupt. They're up to their eyeballs in debt. You can look at the private level debt to GDP, and I'm doing a video on this on my other channel tomorrow. I'll link it below, 2 p.m. Mountain Time that comes out. But the thing is, guys, people just don't understand what is coming down the pipe, and it's not good, and we have to unite and support the Freedom Convoy. And I know a lot of people are like, it's just a bunch of conspiracy theorists, and they're trying to categorize people as extremists, the mainstream media, trying to say they do this, they do that. And there's even reports now coming out of people being planted within these groups to try and incite that. But, you know, this is a freedom movement. It's a freedom movement. It may have started as something else, but is gained momentum, spread globally into a freedom movement. Just look at what's going on in New Zealand right now. Just absolutely insane. This is spread globally. It's gone down to the States as well. And it's just incredible to see that. I'm really, really proud to see that. But you know what, guys? Save your money, because I tell you what is coming is just really, really bad. It's really, really bad. I think I read this morning that for every dollar that a Canadian earns, there's $1.73 in debt outstanding. Just think about that. Just think about how insane that is. That debt is never going to be paid off. That's the fact of the matter. There's not enough money being produced to pay off this debt. You know, people who have this dead-end thinking that it's just going to continue to forever, how's that going to work when there's more debt now than there is money to pay and service that debt? It's just not going to work. Like, you don't have to be a magician. You don't have to be an economist to work that one out. But the thing is, guys, inflation, everything is just absolutely out of control, destroying households, destroying families, destroying livelihoods. And you have to realize that this started with bad policy decisions made by this government. There are governments around the world, and there are countries around the world that are not having the inflation problems that we're having right here. The thing is, when you shut down the economy and you're not producing goods and services, but you then stimulate the economy with the same amount of money that you had swirling around the economy before they shut it down, guess what? Where are they going to buy those goods and services? There's too many dollars chasing too few goods and services that weren't being produced whilst everything was shut down. And that has continued now for nearly 2 years. We're in February 2022. This all started pretty much in March 2020. We're nearly 2 years into this. Canada has no roadmap out of this. To see my family, I haven't seen my family. I haven't been home. And I'm going to try and not get emotional over this because it's difficult. But I haven't seen my family in over 2 years. Last time I saw my family was 2019 in May. And you know what? Part of the reason that I haven't been able to go back is we've been booking, we've been trying, flight gets cancelled. They can't even fill the flights because there's not enough people that want to travel because they're either too scared or they can't afford it because of all the testing requirements. The testing requirements that aren't backed by any scientific study at all. None, nada, nothing. And it frustrates me so much because the people who these mandates, the people who these all these extra steps are meant to protect are actually the people that it's screwing. And you know what? Family is everything. I've said this before. Family is everything. And for us, for immigrants like me and Jess, not being able to see your family for that long because of the government restrictions is an absolute disgrace. An absolute disgrace. And I know loads of people are in the same position as we are. And, my heart goes out to you just as much. The thing is, Canada is not what it used to be. It's got so lost now with division over the course of the past 2 years and hate that it is spread and just become into this sort of dystopia almost. And the thing is, guys, I've never ever, when we came here, I really thought this is gonna, well, it was, when we came here in 2016, we started off, we were excited, everything was fantastic. And that there's another guy that basically he's just moved over here. And it's crazy. I'll link his channel below. But he's just starting off the same story as I started off. And I feel bad because to start off, to be a new immigrant here in Canada in this situation, I can't imagine what that's like. You're basically cut off from your family. And that brings me on to another point, by the way. The funny thing is, with one of the mandates that you've got to be medicated to enter Canada, unless you're a new immigrant coming. But once you get in, you can't then leave. What kind of country does that? A country that's scared, who's created a Ponzi finance scheme. It's essentially what it is, that relies on the greater fools that unfortunately are me and the other people that come in. And I had a conversation with an Uber driver coming back from the mechanic the other day. And he was from India and he'd been in Canada like 8 months, I think. And I said to him, "How are you finding it?" He was really chatty, nice guy. And I couldn't believe what he said. He said, I want to go back. I'm looking to go back. He said, it's just terrible here. He said, there's no life here. And this is in Calgary, supposedly the affordable place people think anyway. People often look for hope. That's what I kind of find. People look around and they say, well, Toronto, a house might cost $1.5 million, but here in Calgary, You know, you can get one for 600,000. So let's go to Calgary. They're kind of hoping that Calgary is going to be better, but it's not. It's not. It's the same stuff. And Calgary, the city and the police and everything that's going on, just absolutely disgraceful. I don't even think it's one of the worst cities in the country. Guys, I don't know what to say anymore. I don't know. I don't even know if anybody's even on this live stream. But you know what? My main message here, and will continue to be a message of freedom and liberty and coming together no matter what you think, coming together. We are stronger together than we are apart. We don't need division. We don't need that. We don't need that. And the thing is, people are trying to grasp for some form of hope because they are being destroyed. And financially, that is happening. It's happened. We just haven't seen the ramifications of that yet. And that will be devastating for Canada. Absolutely devastating. So the thing is, guys, with that being said, I'm gonna end the live stream here. But you know what? Everything that's going on right now, that in Coutts, the Ambassador Bridge in Ontario, in Ottawa, in New Zealand, in America, this is a big movement. We are bigger than they are. And the thing is, we need to get everybody on board with this movement. Not divide, it's us versus them. It's not like that. It's not like that at all. I want everybody part of this movement. I want everybody calling for it. This is our chance. This is our only chance. If we fail here, then in years to come, this will be looked back on, and I don't even want to go down that. We're not going to fail because this is gaining such momentum now. It's not going to fail. But anyway, guys, if this is still going, I'm going to leave it there because I know this will overheat. So thank you so much if you're watching. Thank you so much. And if you like this live stream, leave a comment below. Like it, share it, do whatever you want to do. But, and I'll do more of them. But yeah, unity, peace, coming together, freedom, liberty. That's my message. Thank you so much, guys.